Welcome to Green Hills Shadow Chapter 24 Gift Hunt and the Nightmare That Followed. Shadow was curled up on his side, blanket nearly over his quills. Knuckles had gotten up and did his normal routine of patrolling and having Ozzy with him. The ebony hedgehog could make out Tails tossing in his bed, sounding like he too was just waking up. Today is the last-minute gift hunt for Father's Day, a holiday he hasn't heard in a long time. He's heard soldiers talk about what to gift their father back at the facility, as well as their mother. Back in May, the other three Sapients had mentioned a holiday for Maddie, but because he was new and uprooted their lives, well, it's honestly a blur to the Black Hedgehog. So that holiday must have been Mother's Day. But they didn't make a big deal out the holiday because it must have been because he recently joined in the household at the time. Now that he knows, he does feel somewhat bad that he may have caused them to forget a celebration holiday in her honor. In truth, Maddie forgot about it because of that severe nightmare Shadow had that day. All of them did. But once they realized they gave her the gifts when they got back home, they honestly still thought they had another day. She appreciated the gesture, and regardless of the nightmare, she did enjoy the time with them. In fact, she loved that fishing trip/picnic with them. She wasn't overly fussed at the time. Sonic mentioned since they didn't really get to sweep her off her feet, then maybe they could do a special day just for her. Sounded plausible. He was being roped into this holiday, but he wouldn't mind doing something for them, just like they've done a lot for him. But he has no idea what he's doing. Today was going to be overwhelming. But good to know they've also lost track of the time, or rather the days have blurred together. He heard Sonic make movement, which was a surprise in itself. From the time he has been there, the wake-up of the Sapients were almost a routine. Knuckles first, sometimes Tails, but mostly Shadow would be second. Then if he was Tails would be third and Sonic would be fourth. So he's beaten Tails at getting up. But Sonic stopped moving. The ebony hedgehog's ear twitched. What was he doing? His eyes opened and he turned his head over his shoulder to see what he was doing. Then Sonic lifted Tails out of bed and high into the air, then back to his chest, and into the air again, and the fox let out a yelp, not at all understanding what was happening.
We're going on an adventure!
Sonic grinned at the groggy state of Tails, his two tails dangling, and his body was just still, stunned at what was even going on.
Oh, Sonic, come on!
Tails let out a groan.
I was getting up!
He exclaimed as Sonic kept using him as an arm press, up and down, up and down.
Oh, what if I held you like the Lion King?
I swear.
Tails shot a glare and the hedgehog laughed.
You will pay if you dare.
He's going to regardless. Sonic has the nerve to do this to him? Oh, the fox will come up with an idea to pay him back. Brotherly love after all. Shadow sat up and yawned, rubbing his back quills, making them in a slight case of disarray.
Go do it to Shadow.
Tails motioned to the ebony hedgehog, who grunted and gave Sonic a "I dare you" type of stare that promised injury should he follow up on the kid's advice.
I already have something else in store for him another morning.
Yeah, just admit that, why don't you?
Shadow rolled his neck, giving it a slight crack and sighing out. He already wakes up earlier than the blue hedgehog, so why should he put his guard up on the basis he'll likely forget about this so-called wake-up call on him in a few days? Tails finally jumped out of Sonic's never-ending push-up and down motion and blew his disorganized fringe from his face. He's awake now thanks to his blue brother. He's definitely going to get him back for this. He opened the drawer to see Webby tucked in the corner, the sphere obviously waiting to do its duty in hacking the organization that is GUN. He smiled at the little invention. It's passed all the tests thus far, and it has convinced Knuckles to begin the attack on the people.
Soon, Webby. You'll shine soon.
Tails thought. It won't be long now. As much as Tails would like to get to know his uncle, it's been made very clear how untrusting GUN is, how awful they can be. If they can't come to an agreement, he and the Red Sapient have devised a way to get Webby inside the household and follow Randall into his work. His surveillance drone has managed to keep under the radar from GUN, but he has picked up signals from it that they are looking around, just not around here yet for whatever reason. He's not looking a gift in the mouth. Knuckles called up about breakfast being served, calling him out of his thoughts. He can hold out a little longer, act normal so they can get away with what they were going to do. And breakfast routine started with everyone. Tom and Maddie were talking away before they left for work. Her eyes gazed at the sapients before her, and she was dreading at what she had planned, mostly because of Shadow. She was going to use next month to get them checked up and updated with their vaccines like she originally wanted to do, but it has been chaotic. It might be better to wait until the birthdays were over. Even Tom was dreading it because there was one person that would be kicking and screaming. Shadow.
I'd better get to work.
Tom kissed her on the cheek as the other sapients dug into their food.
You boys got plans today?
Take Shadow around more.
Sonic nodded.
Maybe have a race, play games.
Homework too.
Tails grinned at his disapproving stare.
What? I thought you liked the challenge.
Shadow snorted and ended up with a heated glare off the blue sapient as well.
Yes, Sonic.
Shadow mocked.
I also thought you liked the challenge.
He smirked at him. Knuckles chuckled and sipped his drink.
Regardless, we have a fruitful day, Father. I bid you a good day at fighting enemies and be safe.
I'll be fine, Knuckles. Not much goes on in this town.
He motioned to World War III between the two hedgehogs.
Besides teen shenanigans. Anyway, love you guys.
He waved at them and 3 out the 4 hollered back love you as well as he made his way out.
All right, boys, I'll be heading too.
Maddie stood up and took her plate.
You know where to find me if you need anything.
We will.
Tails sipped his milk. Productive day ahead. He's going to take his gadgets again. It'll alert him to any signals of drones if one should come, and he can quickly tell the echidna. She put her plate in the sink.
Well, love you all.
She waved them off and walked out of the kitchen to go get herself to her own work. She heard the 3 call out the same. Again, it didn't bother her or Tom that Shadow doesn't say it. He's still finding his way around this family.
Okay, game plan.
Sonic waited till he heard her leave before looking at his brothers with a serious expression.
Today we have a hunt to do. Then tomorrow or after the 19th we can spoil Mom, since we didn't do it much back on Mother's Day.
He saw Shadow's ears tilt back and he quickly added,
Not your fault, Shadow, we all forgot. She did too, but we can make it up by doing an all-day mom spoiling thing. What you think?
Sounds ideal.
Tails nodded. It's just a very packed week by the sounds of it. They might not even have time to do the emerald hunt unless they can somehow work it in.
I concur. Shadow, have you ever joined in the holiday?
The echidna looked at him and the black sapient pursed his lip.
I mean, I helped Maria with the professor once, but I didn't have a mother, so I never understood what the other scientists talked about.
He finished his meal and picked up the plate.
But I do want to make it up to Maddie for her not being honored on that particular day, even if I don't know when the date was.
Probably best not to mention it was the day of his severe nightmare. Least they got a picnic and a fishing trip out of it. Sonic cleared his throat.
Let's get moving, Slowpokes. We're losing daylight here.
He zipped into the hallway. They ended up doing a tour of Green Hills, going to small stores to the big store to see what type of last-minute Father's Day gifts they could obtain. Many of the humans just minded their own business, but they always enjoyed seeing the aliens about the town. It made it more lively, it made it feel like Green Hills because they had come accustomed to having them. They were generally well-liked, and the newest was still the hot topic of the month if they were being honest. Shadow picked up a card and read its contents. It's an interesting holiday mostly because he's never actually seen how it works. It's different on the Ark because Professor Gerald sent orders down to Earth whenever the space shuttles would come and go. And Maria would send her handmade gifts to her own father and mother when she could, especially on the holidays. So seeing it all in person is a different ballgame entirely. Is it a big celebration? Or is it one of the smaller ones? He can't tell, he's just here helping the sapients pick up gifts for Tom. For whatever reason they wanted his opinion. Or, is it because of what Tom said before?
But that doesn't mean you don't need a father and mother.
Tom's voice rang through his head.
Oh! I'm rolling around at the speed of sound.
He heard Sonic's voice breaking his own thoughts. He sounded down the aisle that was dedicated to Father's Day gifts. He doesn't even need to look up. The blue zipped past him to a section where Tails was at, avoiding some humans who shook their heads. Used to Sonic and his hyperactive personality, there just was so much on offer and he has no idea what to offer advice on or go for. It didn't seem to be bothering the other 3 as much. Or maybe Shadow is being too serious.
Did you see anything?
His ears tilted to the side and Knuckles came over at the card section.
Are you puzzled on the gift giving of cards?
Shadow was silent and stared at the cards before him. Nothing really stood out to him. He sighed and put the card he had onto the shelf again. Nothing set Tom to him. How was he supposed to help them pick?
Nothing really, shouts Tom to me.
He gazed with serious intent at the shelf. If the man likes jokes then, wouldn't he prefer a jokey card? So many options. Shadow isn't much for jokes himself, but maybe he can find one that fits the bill for the 3 sapients to give to Tom. Knuckles had a keen eye on the black sapient. He cannot blame him for not thinking as Tom as his father yet. It took him many months, as did with Tails, but they eventually started calling them mother and father. Perhaps because of the time with Sonic and themselves, Tom adopted this black hedgehog within the span of the end of April, beginning of May to June. He unashamedly calls Shadow son like he does with the rest of them, but Shadow is still pushing that idea. He can't accept it right now, and that's understandable. He had a broken heart, one that longs for connections, but he pushes them away because he doesn't want to lose anyone like he had before. He struggles with stability like they all did once long ago. But he still wants it, the connection to people. The Echidna hopes with doing all this will help heal him, and the need to keep pushing people away have that lesson. Patience is key. Then maybe one day he could openly express like they all do.
I assume you are looking for a joke type one.
Knuckles looked at the shelf as well, and the black sapient nodded.
Should we also find one for Maddie? Since you all kinda missed that honor.
No, brother, we all gave her something. Plus she enjoyed that day out, we all did. Nothing wrong with finding a gift from you though to give to her. Make it known you appreciate what she's done for you, like how we are doing for father.
He could work with that. But one issue, he has no money to his name. Would selling a gem be sketchy looking? If he were to find one with the Echidna, that is.
Do not worry about the currency. I will lend you my allowance.
Knuckles, I can't. I might have to owe Tom and Maddie if we go get something for that blue beehive.
He muttered quietly as Sonic showed Tails one of the Father's Day gifts.
I can't owe you too.
I do not mind. I hardly use it, so I have some saved up.
Knuckles shook his head.
Do not worry about owing too much, Shadow. We aren't here to stress but to find gifts.
Sonic took that time to come over and held up a number 1 gold-colored cup, shaped like a trophy.
What you think about this? Number 1, Dad? It would go with the platinum-colored gold one we got Mom. Heck, we could use it as substitutes for game night awards. That totally could be a thing. We need to.
Shadow blinked and took it in his hand. It looked like gold, but it also looked like a fake.
Is this fake gold?
It reminds him of his rings, how they used to shine brightly with the gold color, but obviously they weren't fakes.
Dude, if they kept actual gold, they'd be robbed constantly.
Sonic said at his look of disbelief.
Gold stuff like jewelry is kept at a jeweler store, behind glass cases and alarm systems.
But Knuckles has.
Sonic quickly covered the black sapient's mouth and he blinked. Then he narrowed his ruby eyes at Sonic for daring to do that. What is his issue?
Don't just suddenly blurt it out or you're asking people to rob the house.
Sonic gazed around, then his emerald eyes settled on the ebony hedgehog.
It's painted to look like that Shadow.
Shadow shoved his hand off his mouth. Well, that would make a lot more sense at the very least. And yes, Sonic has confirmed if he were to ask Knuckles to sell one of his gems to one of the local stores, it would look completely sketchy. Nothing is simple, is it?
It matches the one you got, Maddie.
Shadow looked it over in his hand. It looks simple enough. But would he drink out of the cup? It looked too good to use in that regard, but that's the point, isn't it?
Yup. We should totally go for this one Knux. It matches Mom's cup.
Sonic grinned and the Echidna agreed. Tails had ordered something, so that's 2 gifts plus just a card to get. There isn't just the 3 of them, there's 4 of them now. The fox was looking for something that had a donut theme to it. He already has a crochet sweater called Donut Lord, so would donuts for a snack count? And they gotta look for a gift to spoil their mom. So many options. Luckily Knuckles doesn't actually spend his allowance all that much. And the fox has saved up as well. So they've got another cup at least, even if Sonic will use it for game night awards by the sounds of it. Don't think their dad would mind that either. Shadow continued looking for cards with the Echidna. Tails gestured for Sonic to come back over, to which he did, and he whispered,
We should add his name to the gifts, since I already got something ordered and hid it.
When did it come?
You were out at the time.
He continued and ignored his expression.
We got this cup, we just need the card. Then we can buy Mom something?
His light blue eyes gazed over.
He is a member of the family now.
Sonic nodded, his gaze turned towards the black sapient who was basically glaring at all the cards, and he snorted. If his glare were any fiercer, he'd have burned all of them by now. Those ruby red eyes of his certainly looked on fire. It's like he's trying to find the most appropriate card. So they waited, and they waited, and they waited. By the 7-minute mark, Sonic was tapping his foot against the floor impatiently.
Oh, will you pick one?
The blue sapient exclaimed. But Shadow ignored him.
We don't have all day.
You wanted my opinion, and I'm giving it. Be patient for a change.
He shot back and the echidna grinned. Someone else to tell the blue hedgehog off. Sonic thinks he's been patient since he's arrived. He scoffed. Maybe he could sing to annoy him into picking a card. He might have to do that, so he took a deep breath, ready to be a menace. When Shadow picked up a card he finally settled on. Drat.
This one could work.
He mused, holding it out for Tails and the other three to see. It was absolutely plain, but it would be something Shadow would bloody pick. It read, "Obligatory Father's Day card." It just screamed Shadow. And it's absolutely something Tom would laugh at as well. Looks like that's the one they'll go with. Sonic gave it the thumbs up with a grin.
Just the card for the holiday.
Sonic chuckled. Yeah, their dad would appreciate that at least. He would see the humor in it.
Still can't believe it took you all that time judging for that one, though.
You wanted my opinion. You have it.
He put the card into the basket. So that's the cup and the card. What else were they still to get?
Let us go find something for Mother.
The echidna motioned to another aisle to go, and Sonic groaned. Shadow's ears tilted. What would Maddie like? Are they getting a gift each or one big one? They decided on checking the flower section of the store. Can't go wrong with flowers, and Knuckles was glaring at every part of said flowers with intent. He was judging on the themes and what was best to give to Maddie. More waiting, much to Sonic being not at all thrilled. He was being way too picky. After several minutes of debating, Knuckles declared he couldn't see anything.
You could have went with that, bro.
Sonic sighed and got slapped at the back of his head by the echidna.
Ouch.
Guys,
Tails said, exasperated.
Okay, then let's go to another store and let Shadow and you melt the shelves with that glare.
Sonic rubbed his head and motioned for them to keep moving and got a warning growl off the black sapient.
I'm serious. Let's just backtrack, because not every store will have the same gifts.
And that's what they did. Again. After paying for the items, they went from the few stores that Green Hills had, because who needs to just pick up something for the sake of it? Shadow was appalled that you couldn't just pick wildflowers to give to someone. They needed to be bought, unless you knew what flowers don't count towards some type of rule attached. He wasn't even aware until Tails pointed it out.
It's not like you'd be pulling out every single flower in the vicinity.
He motioned to the planted flowers at the sidewalks as they walked.
Only a select few. It's like the world is against me.
How do you reckon that?
Sonic walked with them, arms behind his head outstretched.
I have nothing to help you pay for anything.
Shadow gestured to himself.
At best, all I could have offered was flowers, but even that is ridiculous.
it depends what's under the protective category, Shadow. Also, those ones aren't wild. They were planted by people to make the place nicer. Community effort.
Tails walked while looking at his gadget. It picked up a signal of another drone near San Francisco, but it still wasn't in Green Hills.
Some flowers are okay, but not all of them.
And what flora actually falls under that? Is it in a book? What if you were like me who has no idea? Or you were like Sonic who won't care?
Don't lump me into this.
Sonic growled at the black sapient.
Daffodils, I think? You can't pick wild ones, but that's somewhere in Europe. I also think.
Tails remembered hearing that.
What are the consequences?
He ignored the blue hedgehog and Tails hummed at that.
Maybe a fine? Or Dad has to arrest you for the day. I don't know, I'm not law enforcement.
Over flowers? You aren't serious. Humans and their rules. It's not like I've gone and stole.
His red eyes gazed around to see what he could spot as they walked down the pavement.
That thing.
He pointed at the cash machine known as an ATM sitting out one store.
What is it?
It's an ATM. Automated teller machine.
Tails responded.
Its purpose is to provide a convenient way to access and manage the bank accounts of humans outside the banking hours, in case you don't have time to go to a bank.
So that would get you arrested immediately?
Please.
Sonic put his hands together and grimaced.
I'm all for fun, but that's a one-way ticket to Dad's workplace that has the ability to lock you up in a cell. Now, no big deal. Wouldn't keep people like us, but I still don't want to end up there for an afternoon.
But he saw the dark expression on the sapient's face and he realized his error in saying something like that. Oh, curse his mouth sometimes. To say it wouldn't hold anyone like them is like a slap in the face to Shadow, no doubt. Because even though Sonic is telling the truth, it wouldn't. Shadow's never seen inside and he has been kept in his own cell by humans. Oh goody Sonic, you've put your foot in it once again. Knuckles shook his head as if understanding too.
It's mostly built for human Shadow. That is all Sonic meant. I could snap the metal like a twig. I love our father, but most humans are pitifully weak that the cell is enough to keep them contained.
What's the next trip gonna be like? Location-wise, on Mobius, I mean.
It would get the mind of the talk of jail cells.
There's a lot. Pumpkin Hill.
Tails went bang on into the echidna's back, who whirled his head at him in a glare. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be haunted. Shadow and Sonic knew immediately and Sonic started snickering, which didn't help matters.
So that sounds fun.
Then you will go buy yourself Hedgehog.
Knuckles growled and walked on ahead. Shadow still couldn't understand it. Is it fear or just plain dislike about ghosts or spirits? Regardless, it's quite clear he would smack anyone who would take him to such a place.
Knuckles, come on, it sounds.
No,
He shouted back at the blue sapient.
Windy Valley? It's near Mystic Ruins.
Tails brought up as they followed the echidna to change the subject of that location. Mystic Ruins, now that's probably a good spot to choose. It was a rainforest and it was filled with mystery to it, because a huge chunk of the place seemed to be missing, like it indicated it used to be attached to something. But what? That was an ancient mystery of Mobius. What could have been attached?
potential options.
Knuckles mused, gazing at the potential gifts mothers would appreciate.
Why can't we do more Earth locations as well?
Sonic tilted his head as Knuckles picked up scented candle that was supposed to smell like vanilla.
Like the Great Wall or the pyramids?
Tails pursed his lip. Humans were aware, but not all of them. Sonic may be comfortable with going to places, but that isn't the issue. The issue is that if they take Shadow to locations, tourist attractions even, that would give G1 the tip-off that he's with the other three sapients. It was safer to do it in Mobius because A, they don't know how to get there, and B, they could be free to wander to their heart's content. He would love to explore with his siblings and show Shadow the world. But that will have to be after he hacks G1, because otherwise he has nothing on them to use as dirt and threaten to have it come to light on their misdeeds. Sonic hasn't factored that. What locations would they go to that wouldn't bring a lot of attention? They could try think on that.
We could come up with areas then. Why don't we wait until after the birthday week? I'm sure Shadow doesn't mind the Mobian trips.
Tails looked at the black sapient had made his way to the echidna as both discussed on what to get Maddie as a surprise gift. He hopes this is dropped. Sonic can't know what he and Knuckles are planning just yet. He felt his older brother's emerald gaze on him too long, like he was trying to gauge why the fox just shrugged him off. Sorry, Sonic. The less you know, the better. It took a while, but they found something they thought would totally work as a good gift. A candle she would like for yoga exercises or the bath. A box of chocolates, and Shadow still thinks it's stupid as it is to pay for nature's splendors. Flowers might be a good idea for appreciation. So they went off to the flower section of the store. But Knuckles and Shadow began to be problematic. They didn't see anything that was worthy for Maddie, and Sonic nearly took their heads off.
I am not going around and around and around just to find flowers. Especially back at the bigger store. We were just there.
He threw his hands up in the air in frustration. This was utterly ridiculous. So Tails got in between and offered a solution.
There is a flower shop we could go to?
Why was gift hunting so painful? Sonic sighed out. Off to another store because he's got two knuckleheads who want perfection. Worst team to bring along to this. Okay, fine, may as well go with them and make sure they pick something. If they don't just pick something though, he might scream. But first, pay for the candle and the chocolates. And so after they paid for the stuff, they walked back out into the town and trailed for another 10 minutes to get to the flower shop. This has been the longest time they've all been outside together while in Green Hills. Not the diner or the restaurant count. Plus the slowest cause Sonic hasn't actually sped off anywhere without them.
Okay, so this is green fabled floral. So let's see what we can get.
Tails knew Knuckles was going to be picky. Echidnas tend to be like armadillos, they were close to the planet and the nature it offered. Knuckles was more in tune with nature around him, so he wasn't probably getting the vibes from the stores. Flower shops might be better. If that's not the case, then the flower idea can be tossed out the window unless Knuckles knew what wild flowers one could pick. That or he would pick them regardless if you can or not. Best to keep quiet about that. As soon as they entered, Shadow was hit with all the smells of the flowers. He nearly choked but managed to stop himself from doing so. He gazed around, seeing all the flora in the water baskets on offer. There was a lot more selection than much he could see. Flowers he hasn't seen out in the wilds of Green Hills. Interesting, so can they mix and match?
Does Maddie have any particular likes and dislikes? What flowers or colors? We could do a theme.
Shadow gestured to ones at the sides with Knuckles gazing over as well. He would prefer to get wild ones himself, and he still might just do that to add whatever they picked. Sonic was banging his head against the wall and sighed out loudly. Of course Shadow is like Knuckles. Picky.
Sonic, if you aren't going to help us, leave.
Shadow examined the flowers with the echidna.
Is that lavender?
It's flowers.
Sonic motioned to all around them.
You both are judging way too hard about this.
It is for Mother. She simply deserves the best brother.
Knuckles overlooked the selection. Maybe natural colors? White, pinks, and yellows.
Natural colors might work, but we also have pinks, purples with a touch of white. Mother does like those colors.
Shadow took in what the echidna was saying. He's no expert by any means, but he would like to show some appreciation to Maddie, so he is going to take this seriously.
Let's try mixed natural colors first.
And that's where they spent for a good 10 minutes of discussing, even boldly getting the one who owns the flower shop to show sample pictures on her phone to get a much better idea. Tails was quite proud for two reasons. Shadow had tried his best today, and Sonic hadn't bolted out the store in frustration. Everyone was making an effort and he was quite glad for it, as tiring as it felt, to be honest. He looked at the time on his phone and groaned. That only took them 2-ish hours to get everything in total. For being a quiet town, they sure spent ages trying to find the perfect stuff for their parents. Don't think it helped you had an echidna who demanded proper honor for their mother, which, fair. But he also somehow got Shadow into being a perfectionist when it came to the selection. Or they really are just as bad as each other.
Are we good now?
Sonic motioned to the sun outside.
Can we take that stuff home and just enjoy the rest of the day?
Stuff it.
Shadow shot back with irritation plain on his face.
We did most of the work.
Sonic let out an offended gasp, hand on his chest. Oh, he's so getting it once they leave here. Tails let out a huge sigh. What's going through his mind? Sonic sped outside saying he had to go put the items away. Tails does think he is up to something though. They finally got the bouquet ordered. It only took about a minute to do so, and they'll have it hidden away so they can give to Maddie the next day. Shadow pushed the door open with Knuckles holding the bouquet. Next thing they know, they heard a loud pop and one side of Shadow was splattered with blue powder, and he stood there coughing as some got into his nose and mouth. What the? He heard the cackle of a blue hedgehog.
Congratulations on your first holiday shopping trip.
He grinned as some humans stopped to watch what was happening. There he was holding some type of long popper. Tails face-bombed, Shadow stood still. Dumbfounded, but that won't last for long. The fox quickly took the flowers off Knuckles, who shot him a questioning look.
I'm not getting in between that. Good luck.
However do you mean, bro?
He didn't get a chance to finish because Shadow launched forward and got hit with another blue pop of powder. The black mixed with blue sapient shook with either irritation or anger. Where did he pull a second one from? Some humans chuckled away near them, seeing such a sight.
Wow, you pull off my favorite color. Way to go, Shadow.
Sonic chortled away.
Run.
Shadow's voice sounded deep and aggressive that Sonic actually froze.
Run fast, you blue rat.
Oh boy.
So,
Wade leaned over to Tom's desk, making the sheriff look up at him.
Shadow's present arrived. It's all ready for the 19th.
Not that long left. And they still had to go out and get something for Shadow to give to Sonic. They want him to pick the item himself. They were going to do it on the bowling day they had planned. It would be a fun day out, and after it was done they'd take Shadow around town until they could find something.
Do they know yet?
Wade got a blank off Tom.
Your parents? About Shadow?
Tom cringed and shook his head.
No, they'll be here for the 23rd. So I'm a dead man.
Oh, you certainly are.
Wade winced in sympathy. After a month or two of Sonic moving in with them, Thomas Sr. nearly lawnmowered his son when he found out he was a grandfather. And his mother Daisy was the same. They've likely heard there's another sapient by now though. Obviously Tom was trying to respect Shadow and get him used to humans from exposure. Because Daisy would have scooped him up immediately into her arms like she did with Tails when she first found out about him and Knuckles, but she couldn't physically lift him, so she settled in pinching her son's ear. He heard about that from Sonic. It's gonna happen again. His ear will be bruised.
I'm sure if you explain the circumstances, they'd understand.
Wade pulled his chair over and sat down. Tom sighed out and looked at his phone. The home screen was now all 4 boys as his wallpaper and bit his lip. How can he just blurt out the reason though?
It's not just my family I'm worried about. Because Rachel, she's not at all happy with me right now. It's like our relationship has went 2 steps back. Sonic wants JoJo, but me and Maddie are fearing she won't let her come now.
He muttered tiredly and rubbed his face. How did his parents cope with having him and his brothers? Sure, they could be lunatics at times, but then again none of them came with the issues his kids have all seemed to have gone through.
I don't think she would be as cruel as that though. How is that fair on JoJo or Sonic?
It wouldn't be fair, no. And they hope it doesn't come to that.
She's utterly terrifying at times. I think I would rather go up against Robot Nick again than have to face that woman.
Tom grumbled and Wade chuckled with sympathy. It is a shame he's stressed out about this. What's supposed to be a joyous occasion might not even get to be.
So she doesn't know about him either?
I'm afraid to say it over the phone, Wade. You know why?
He grimaced and rubbed his face. Wade could understand, for all they know the phones could be bugged. All it takes is for one mention on Shadow somewhere and GUN might come calling. Tom had to think about it. For some reason Green Hills hasn't been the source to look for. That means Shadow escaped from another part of the world potentially, but how far? That's a thought. How did he exactly get here? Carl said there was a flash and then that turned his lights off and that was it. Even he can't explain, but Knuckles said the Master Emerald had a hand in it. Somehow still wrapping his mind around that. Tom sighed.
Me and Maddie are gonna go talk to her soon. Sonic brought up a life-saving idea that me and her... Well, it totally went out of our heads until he mentioned it.
When it comes to his kids, Tom will pull out the most unimaginable strength. Maddie does the same. What must it be like to be a parent? The tales of what one does for their kids, unless you become one yourself, you can't really understand it. Tom has changed a lot since adopting Sonic. He and Maddie weren't interested in having kids all that much, now they have 4. The universe loves giving them to the pair, doesn't it?
You've just had a lot going on.
Wade patted his shoulder.
Can't get everything right, Tom. But I think you both are doing really well. I don't think I could cope with what you've both been given so suddenly.
He said with complete honesty. He doesn't think he could, not with what he's learned about Shadow, because how does one support someone like him? The Sapients are a good start, but it helps immensely he has his best friend and his wife to be there for him.
I've had people ask me about him, by the way, when they see him in town.
Really?
Tom hummed. He's not surprised. They were like that with Knuckles and Tails even when Sonic first joined them.
He has been going here more often with the 3 of them, so naturally people are going to be curious.
I've not said much, just that he's
He cleared his throat.
shy.
That made Tom chuckle a little. Shadow wasn't shy in that regard. Those who knew the truth understand the hesitation. But it's unfortunately something they've got to agree with, because until Shadow says he's okay with people knowing his past, or what he is, he'll keep it between the 3 of them if he has to.
So you still want to do bowling?
I want to let Shadow experience stuff. It was that or baseball. But it might be a fun thing to do with everyone, you know? Get him out the house more. And Knuckles watches you bowl, so people have had that exposure of the boys going into those type of fun events.
Tom leaned against this chair. He's just winging it at this point, so is Maddie. He really hopes both Shadow's birthday and Sonic's goes without a hitch. It wasn't asking for much. They both deserve to have good days. They both were about to go back to work when they heard a loud high-pitched yell from a certain blue hedgehog outside.
Shadow, now wait, Shadow.
Shadow, our brother bruises easily.
They heard Knuckles call out. Tom banged his head on the table and groaned loudly as the other people around them took a peek outside the window to see what was going on. Wade's side sounded like antics were happening. They could see Sonic try use Knuckles as a shield, and the echidna just stood there as Shadow tried grasping at the blue hedgehog. A game of dodge the swipe. One determined to stay away, and the other wanting to grab him. Shadow was covered in blue powder for whatever reason.
Is that your boys, Sheriff?
One of the other humans muttered out.
They sound like a riot.
Oh, you have no idea.
Tom said against the table.
I thought it was all in good fun, Sonic.
Shadow practically sneered out outside.
Come here so I can return the favor.
Sonic must have really irritated him. First time he's heard him raise his voice in public. Kudos though he's actually talking.
You pull off the color.
He tried defending himself and Wade couldn't believe what he was hearing. Sonic was either brave or stupid in doing that. Maybe both.
He's a lunatic.
Chris whistled out from what he was seeing.
Tom, he's got your sense of humor.
I mean, you aren't wrong, but I am not that brave.
Tom pointed out, hearing the madness outside get louder. His phone went off with the theme tune and he answered it.
What's this about the boys chasing each other out on the street?
It was Maddie on the other side of the phone.
How did you know that?
Tom blinked.
Was it your mama sense, or?
A client popped by and is like, "Oh, Maddie, your boys are so energetic."
That made more sense.
So go out there and tell them to relax, or their mom is hightailing it out there and dragging them to the clinic.
Yes, ma'am.
Tom hung up and stood with Wade, watching him with a bemused expression.
You heard that.
Totally. I gotta see the reaction.
He quickly made his way to the window. He has to admit, alien shenanigans always was fun to witness. Just happy he doesn't actually have to deal that side of it. Every kid does dread the mom promise though. He certainly used to be with his own mother. So everyone in the room watched Tom stroll to the door with purpose and opened it, putting on a smile at his boys.
Oh, boys.
He had that fatherly tone and all three froze and turned their heads towards him, like being caught in the cookie jar.
Oh, when did we get to the police department?
Sonic blinked with confusion. Shadow gazed at the building itself. It didn't seem all that impressive.
No idea, but I just got your mom off the phone.
He waved his phone as if to prove his point. He got three different expressions at once. Sonic turned pale, Knuckles turned to stone, and Shadow just looked plain bewildered.
Basically, relax and behave near the road. Go do that at home, or she's coming over here and dragging all three of you to her workplace where you'll be there for the entire day. Your choice.
That clamored two of them up immediately. Shadow just wasn't at all sure. Oh, that summer child has no idea the wrath of a mother.
How did she?
Knuckles held horror in his tone.
Mom magic.
Sonic whispered back, knowing that's a real promise. Chris turned to Wade, who shrugged.
Normal Green Hills Day, huh? Bunch of teams being stupid, so absolutely.
Wade chuckled. After listening to that advice, they promptly took it home, with Tails waiting after hiding the flowers and other gifts. Shadow was plotting his revenge on that powder stuff. He could see it clearly. He grinned. He wouldn't mind actually seeing it be pulled off, but that might start a prank war. The fox yawned at the eventful shenanigans that played throughout the day. Quite glad it's bedtime. He was exhausted.
A beach day?
Maddie tilted her head at the blue hedgehog, who nodded.
You want to go to a beach?
I mean, when we have time. I don't think Shadows ever saw one. Might be an experience, if you ask me.
Sonic was hanging upside down on the beam at the attic, with Tom keeping his arms out just in case.
And no, I'm not willing to go to the water. I'll stay on the sand, thank you.
Said Black Sapient was currently down the stairs getting a refill of water for the night, so Sonic thought to tell his parents about the idea. He missed the looks of Knuckles and Tails, who had some mild concern in their eyes, because of what they know. They knew GUN had drones around some major cities because of the one near their Aunt Rachel's and possibly tourist spots. in hopes to finding the black hedgehog. Sure, Knuckles mentioned an emerald hunt, but they were going to hopefully find one that was basically in the middle of nowhere and wouldn't have people. The beaches would have people, and what would people have? Phones. Not to say people of Green Hills didn't, but they were used to the sapience outside of here. No one is. The only other option they could possibly take for a beach trip is Mobius, the Emerald Coast. But they'd stick out like a sore thumb for one reason other than the two-toned hedgehog and the two-tailed fox. Two humans that Mobians have likely never ever seen. Good idea for a trip if all that wasn't stacked against them.
Let's leave it on the back burner, Sonic. We have so much going on as is.
Tom muttered out, arms outspread to catch his kid, but Sonic twisted himself upright and was sitting on the beam.
I know you're excited because of all the recent trips. Can't blame you, but...
So what are we gonna do for his birthday then? We don't have enough time to do a party. So I was thinking a trip, like a dinner somewhere or aka the beach. Make his first birthday here rememberable.
Sonic gestured to the attic stairs.
While honorable brother,
Knuckles fluffed out his pillow.
you forget, beaches are crowded. We don't need the attention right now, and our parents cannot take another work day off since they have for your name day.
That is true, he and Maddie have put in many and sure people would understand, but they still need to work in order to provide for the family. They also asked for Shadow's birthday off because this will be his first here. They need to make it rememberable. Sonic sighed, ears drooping somewhat. His idea doesn't seem to be panning out, unfortunately. Well, maybe they could do a beach trip after their birthday. Or he could look up a secluded beach and use a warp ring. Now that's an idea.
Me and your mom are coming up with something simple. But you are welcome to pitch in ideas, son.
Tom looked up at Sonic, who swung his leg lazily in the air while sitting on the beam.
Sonic Bud, we can only do so much.
He has a point. Shadow throwing them in the deep end over his birthday, they can't throw something big like his is gonna be. Maybe he would prefer just people he knows and not one big party, but they've got to do something fun for him. It's his first time to celebrate such an occasion since his time because being a pet of G-Wen for all those years. He wants it to look back on and smile, even if he misses Gerald or Maria.
Are you a monkey?
Ah, there comes the conundrum himself, holding his tumbler he got from Wade in his hand with fresh water.
Why are you up there?
I'm Spider-Hog. You know I was inspired by the time you punched me onto the ceiling.
Sonic grinned with cheek at the black sapient who stared dryly at him.
You don't know Spider-Man, do you?
I'm not into superheroes like you. They mean absolutely nothing to me.
He grumbled and made his way to his mattress. Ouch, what a strike to Sonic's heart because he understood the message, but Shadow likely meant nothing on that. Just a passing comment.
Quite ironic, considering spiders like to live up on places like that.
Shadow smirked at the glare he got off the blue hedgehog.
Not afraid my behind.
I am not afraid. I just dislike them.
Sonic and Tails dust. The fox would have told him they'd be one up here before he climbed up. He's just gonna ignore the ebony hedgehog.
So about the same amount of dislike Knuckles has when it comes to.
I like you, Hedgehog, but you dare.
Knuckles growled out himself and Shadow chuckled. Ozzy was waiting for Shadow and he eyed the retriever. This dog liked to sneak those slobbery wet kisses and Shadow is not the biggest fan. He does it more to him than the other three for whatever reason.
Ozzy, no.
Ozzy whined, not at all sure what the issue was. Shadow shook his head and sat his cup down on the floor next to his mattress, and next thing he knows Ozzy did the one thing he just said not to do. Lick him.
Ozzy.
He hissed, wiping the drool off his muzzle. Tom and Maddie laughed because while Shadow was okay with the dog, he did not like being granted with his famous dog kisses. Sonic snickered on the beam and Shadow struck it with his fist at the side, causing it to shake, and Sonic yelped out, falling and hanging on upside down, clinging on from the suddenness.
Shadow!
Sonic growled out. Tom sighed and had a small smile. They both acted like brothers more than they realized, reminding him of his own. Tom held out his arms and pulled Sonic off the beam since he could reach, and held his blue child upside down, who was not at all thrilled at being manhandled this way.
Dad!
What? You said you were doing Spider-Hog. Just helping you out, bud.
Tom grinned as he took Sonic to his own bed.
Blackberry? You excited for bowling?
Maddie turned to the ebony hedgehog, who got himself comfortable on the mattress. His bed should be done soon and being made. the order to match the rest of the beds in a theme.
It sounds intriguing, I have to admit.
He fluffed out his pillow.
Are we doing it in teams, or just single per person?
We'll see when we get there. Wade is pretty good at the game though.
Maddie kissed Tails on the head.
Hasn't been beaten yet.
He's like a final boss.
Sonic bemoaned.
I'm serious, Shadow. As happy and go lucky Wade can be, he's another beast entirely when it comes to this game.
He takes it seriously? I thought the purpose is to have fun and let loose.
Well, you'd be right, but fun fact, Wade is having fun. He just beats everyone with ease.
Maddie giggled away.
Sonic has been determined to best him.
Also watch our example before you roll the bowling ball.
Knuckles piped up.
Especially mine.
He saw the black hedgehog give him a curious look, and so he continued.
We don't need the bowling ball to go through the wall. I unfortunately did a lot of damage thinking you had to use a lot of strength.
So that's what he meant, pull his strength back.
At least you didn't do what Tom's dad did once.
Maddie grinned and Tom chuckled away.
The man let go of the ball by accident, and it went backwards, hitting one of his sons, and down he went like a stone.
That was a fun day.
Tom laughed, remembering his dad was worried he knocked out his son, but once he saw he was alright, the man bellowed with laughter and made some jokes out of it. His mom slapped him on the shoulder to get him to stop, but didn't work.
Is Thomas Sr. where you get
Shadow Paws tried to think of a way to word it.
your outlook on life?
I suppose so, but he mainly says that's just the way I've always been.
Tom rubbed his neck and yawned,
Alright, time to hit the hay.
and thus the routine of goodnight started once again, with each of the sapients getting a goodnight hug and a kiss as well as love you from the two humans. As per the norm, Shadow still hadn't said it back, but he allowed an embrace and would say goodnight back in return. One day they hope he'll say it back, but he can take his time. He's still discovering along with them. There is no forcing, only when he's ready. And with that, the lights were out and the night went silent. But the stillness of the night did not last. Sonic was curled up sleeping when he heard the sound of someone tossing and turning in their sleep. He groaned tiredly and tried curling up even more, pulling his cover over his head. It's too late for this, he's gonna clock whoever is making that much noise. They have plans to do. He was also having a good dream and now he's been woken up. He heard a whine. Okay, clue 1. He sat up quickly, quills in disarray as he blinked through the darkness, his vision trying to adjust. He saw Knuckles wasn't in his bed, and that was his second clue. His eyes looked down and he was right. Shadow was there, having another nightmare by the looks of it. Knuckles was nearby, obviously staying out of reach from his arms. Sonic frowned and tossed his legs over the bed.
Nux, how long has this been happening?
Sonic whispered tiredly as he got out of his bed, and the echidna shook his head.
I do not know. But it hasn't gotten bad yet. No sudden chaos energy or anything else, but unfortunately something tells me that is due to happen. I've tried calling out, but he's deep in it once again.
The echidna mumbled, his purple eyes gazed at the fox's bed, seeing the kit turn in his sleep, indicating he's gonna be awake if this keeps up.
I may need to try and shake him awake. Go back to sleep, brother, I have him.
It's fine.
Sonic muttered and sat next to the black sapient, his back facing him, but he twisted his body to the side so he could watch him.
You are in reach of his arms. You must be careful.
Sonic sighed. He knows that, but he wants to let Shadow know he's there, that he and Knuckles are there. All the times he's had nightmares, it's either the echidna or his parents have been the ones to show it. It's now his turn to do the same. Sonic has witnessed Knuckles' nightmares back last year. But as soon as you touched the echidna, he either swung at you or jolted awake. Shadow's nightmares are an entirely different ballgame, but that's not fair to compare. Their nightmares are vastly different in many aspects. The echidna sometimes shouted in his sleep, but the times he's witnessed Shadow, it's been a fight reflex. The one time he didn't was he quickly got up and made his way outside for air and alone time. That nightmare wasn't as severe as his current ones.
Go get Mom and Dad if it gets worse.
Sonic reached over and hesitated in case touching him would set something off, but he might need to. His green eyes examined him. The hedgehog before him was beginning to have damp fur again. His brows furrowed in pain. either the memory or experiencing it. He swallowed and very gently touched his dulled golden ring, so that he didn't startle him with someone touching. The feeling of it.
We're here, Shadow.
He whispered quietly, hoping he would understand that in his nightmare. Shadow groaned. He felt heavy all of a sudden. Why? What's going on now? He couldn't feel the water anymore. He wasn't floating either, His eyes opened slowly, seeing himself on his knees, and that quickly jolted him awake. He tried to move, but he was heavily restrained. His arms were outstretched at each side of him. His hands and wrists were covered in thick heavy metal. He had drainers up to above his elbows on each side of his arm. Chains attached to those drainers, and the metal restraints also rattled violently from his movements. These weren't the professor's prototypes. Wasn't he inside of a pod? What are they? What is this? And
this thing is beginning to test my patience. Shouldn't we have it attached to a table for the response tests?
his ears heard the sound of a human speak coldly.
Its images showed a lot of brain activity. I think it's been suffering nightmares. It may be experiencing grief from the execution, delayed as it may be. And I was ordered to do it this way because we aren't sure how well the drainers will be. Safer for us in case it somehow breaks out and uses the table against us. This way it's restrained to Kingdom Come. We have a better chance.
His heard another say they didn't sound enthusiastic about something. His brain caught up to his predicament. Maria, she and the professor, he too, wasn't he? He snarled and pulled on these restraints as hard as he could, which startled the ones in the room with its heavy banging of chains, trying to be pulled off the walls. He tugged and thrashed and pulled, but the drainers were doing their job. It was draining him. He could feel it take his power and strength. He could see veins of chaos energy going up his arms, as well as his legs. Was there one on his neck too? It felt like a virus was overtaking the Black Sapient. These are new, these felt dangerous. These aren't normal drainers. Two soliders pointed their weapons at him, ready to fire if they had to. His eyes shot around the room, seeing scientists observe from the window with wide eyes. Some were afraid, and others held disgust at him.
Ah, I see you are fully awake.
His ruby eyes gazed, looked to the door as a man came over with a notepad. He was with someone else. He looked middle-aged, maybe? He had brown hair and blue eyes and a beard. He grimaced.
I would rather you stayed asleep and never wake up. But we have orders. The new drainers ought to keep you from using your powers.
What?
Which means you are no longer a risk to not keep awake. Those are the new Chaos Drainer enhancements that we finally improved, based off Gerald's old designs. You practically pose no threat to us anymore. The pod did its duty in keeping you contained. Now we will see the fruit of our labor from waiting.
What is he even talking about? This scientist didn't look like he wanted to be there. In fact, compared to the other ones, he almost looked sorry at Shadow. Why?
You've been asleep for a long time, Project. And unfortunately, I wish I could keep you that way.
He muttered with some sorrow.
But it's been decided to test you awake from now on with the new sedation formula and with the new improved Chaos Drainers. You'll be without the containment pod from now on.
He cleared his throat.
I am Professor Cadell, and I will be overseeing a lot of the medicinal drug testing and the first response tests.
He mumbled on, not really enthusiastic about this. This thing is a man-made creation, it possibly couldn't understand him. That is the vibe the Black Sapient was getting. Shadow froze and he stared at the man in disbelief. His mouth opened and the man gestured for the other scientists from the door to follow. After the execution of the professor, Shadow was deemed unpredictable, and thus was forced to sleep in that chaos-forsaken pod. How long was he asleep in that pod before? A year? 3? Why is his mind confused?
What are you doing?
Shadow could feel his anxiety rise. He can't defend himself. The other scientists in the windows stared with surprise that he could talk. Even the man before him was taken by surprise. They weren't aware? How? Weren't they told?
You can talk?
He whispered with shock and horror, as if realizing he wasn't a mindless animal.
I asked you a question.
He hissed at the human, trying to keep that worry down. But the man stared at him silently for a few moments.
Never forgive me.
The man muttered.
For what I'm about to do. I don't want it, nor will I deserve it.
The other one he gestured to come had a tray of supplies and medical equipment.
Let's begin. We'll start with healing response tests. How quick your body responds to heavy injuries.
His eyes widened and he forced himself back, which caused a violent sound from his restraints. That implied they were going to do something he'll be awake for. Even Professor Gerald refused to do something like this. But the drainers zapped into him even more as he tried to summon his chaos powers to aid him. Stung and he hissed, "Come out, chaos, darn it." He felt hands grip his quills rather hard and painfully, and he whined, forced his head to look up at the ceiling. The soldiers weren't friendly. They held him firmly.
Ready when you are, Professor.
One of them sounded cold. Shadow's ruby eyes shot forward, his heart beating loudly, and they forced him to keep still, and he couldn't do much with those darn restraints. They felt like a poison in his body. He watched the man lift out a type of surgical drill and his eyes shrank. No. The man grimaced and the other scientist was nearby.
Log it in. Beginning the test now.
No, please, what did I do?
Shadow shouted out with despair, even as they kept him still. He could hear his heart beat loudly in his ears.
Never forgive me.
He repeated with sympathy. His hand was on Shadow's head, and he pressed the metal piece at the side where his ear is. He couldn't hear much else because his ears could only hear how fast his heart was beating. It got louder and louder, faster and faster. Don't do this to him.
Stop! No, Professor!
He called out in his head in a desperate attempt at semblance. Make this stop. The sound of the drill happened. His skull felt like it was on fire, splitting apart, and the sound was blocked by his painful screams. Both of the humans quickly sat up from their sleeping positions, blinking and trying to adjust to being awake suddenly. Tom was actively reaching for his gun in the side drawer in a daze while Maddie was nearly on the floor.
What in the world?
He groggily groaned out. He tried to adjust, his brain was still sleeping. Maddie squinted her eyes and looked at the time on the clock, and it was roughly 4:50 in the morning. Both were still groggy. What?
Knuckles, go get them!
They heard Sonic call out from upstairs. That woke them up quicker than coffee ever could. That meant one thing. Shadow was having another severe nightmare. Both shot out of their bed immediately, not even giving much else a spare thought, and they sped up the attic stairs with impressive speed. Tails was sitting on his bed watching with worry. Sonic was still at the Black Sapient's side, trying to call him out of it, but it didn't seem to be working. The box with the emerald seemed to be glowing inside of it. The scene had changed before him, same room, but he felt on fire. His eyes spotted the issue. He was vomiting blood. It felt like his insides were set alight, pain shooting throughout his body. His head hung low, and he saw the puddle of blood he just brought up. That's right, they had put him on an experimental drug that was supposed to be for a human disease. It was supposed to attack the illness to give the human body a chance to fight back and even the odds. But they just kept popping pill after pill into his mouth. No matter how much he begged for them to stop, they just stuffed it down him, forcing it down. He was quite sure he was vomiting it all back up because he might be developing a fear from it. Or they overdosed him, either sounded plausible. But it seems the side effect was stronger than intended as well. It was violently attacking him inside. He wheezed as he brought up more blood. It was getting bigger. He was in so much pain his ears were drooped. Even they felt like they could be bleeding. He could see the blood wasn't normal, it was a lot darker in some sections. What the hell was in those drugs? What did they force inside of him? What was happening? His ears were ringing as he just kept bringing up more blood. His stomach was in agony. It wanted some of his organs to come up. He was convinced. His vision was blurry, he couldn't see properly. He felt incredibly dizzy. The red on the floor was spinning in some sections.
What have you all done?
His ears picked up that Professor Kettle's voice. It sounded so far away though.
I told you not to give him so much when I wasn't here.
He felt a pair of hands grab at his face and lift him up to see the blurry image of the human.
Project, it's okay. Breathe.
He looked desperate.
Someone bring me fluids immediately.
He shouted out with authority.
We need to pump his stomach out too.
No, leave him alone. He doesn't have the strength for any more right now. He groaned out, the blood was just dripping from his mouth at this point. He was bleeding from the inside, wasn't he? Something was wrong in those drugs. His healing needs to kick in? Or is it needing the energy? But it can't get enough because of those damn drainers. His voice was drowning out even more.
What? No.
The man cried out.
What do you mean he's not allowed any aid? This isn't a response test. If we don't pump his stomach now, we might lose him.
That would be a mercy at this rate, wouldn't it? But his body wouldn't allow it. That much he knows. His eyes fluttered, his vision turning black. How long did they keep doing this to him? Make this stop.
Project.
The voice was disappearing.
I will defy the order. Hurry it up.
He felt more people grab at him, but he couldn't react to it.
Project Shadow.
Shadow.
He felt an arm around him, their hand on his head, and was against someone's chest.
It's all right, son.
His nose picked up the familiar scents of pine, coffee, even lingering cologne. He's heard that voice before. Where has he heard it? He felt damp, like someone tossed a bucket of water on top of him. He felt the motion of someone holding him, rocking him back and forth. His ears picked up on a heartbeat. His breathing was heavy, loud, and becoming aware somewhat.
That's it, bud.
That voice, it's Tom, isn't it? That's right. Besides Wade, there's only one person who says bud and buddy that he's aware of, and it's him. What's happening? He opened his eyes, which took a great deal of strength. He struggled to do so. His glassy eyes tried to adjust. Everything looked blurry. He inhaled loudly and let out an unrestrained sound, almost close to a choke, not understanding what was happening anymore.
Slowly.
He heard Tom say, or at least he thinks that's what he said, as he continued to rock him, his strong, steady arm keeping him caged against his chest. He felt disoriented still, though, struggling to really come to, or make any reflexes. It's like his body is delayed in doing so. He didn't feel like himself. His heart was beating so loudly in his ears, he struggled to get air. He could barely understand anyone. Why can't he get enough oxygen? Why was Tom in the facility with him? Did they imprison him too? This can't be happening.
Father.
His ears picked up on a voice, but it was drowned out by his own heart. This makes no sense. Was the entire family captured with him?
Knuckles, I've got him.
Tom said softly. He kept the rocking motion.
Shadow, you okay?
He could barely hear him. No, he isn't. His heart was in his throat. Those drugs they forced him to take, to swallow, he can still taste them. Then he felt it in his stomach. No, this wasn't a nightmare, it must have happened. But how? That doesn't matter, they need out. Now. He quickly tried getting out of Tom's arms with great strength that he was able to, and he startled the human. Tom was half on his mattress and on the wooden floor of the attic.
Shadow.
Shadow slammed his own fist into his stomach. Hard, and Tom let out a cry, and so did Sonic.
Shadow, baby.
Maddie called out with shock in tone.
Shadow.
He felt Tom try stop him, but he continued. He can still taste them, he can feel them in his stomach.
Bud, stop.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
He repeated in quick succession. He struck again and again. He doesn't want them inside.
Just come up.
He brought up some saliva. His stomach ached at him to stop. His muscles quaked, but it wasn't enough. Why aren't they coming up? His vision danced. He felt dizzy, weaker than he wanted to feel. He felt the drool around his mouth. He then felt hands grab at his face and force him to look at someone. His drool getting all over said person's hands. It was Tom in his view. Shadow flinched somewhat from seeing his blue eyes, oozing with worry and concern, as dizzy as he felt. This felt eerie similar. The human saw the ebony hedgehog's eyes were slits. He was breathing erratically, and he wasn't at all focused. He was between what he dreamt and reality.
Shadow.
Tom was serious in tone, trying to remain calm.
What needs to come up?
Shadow spotted the blue hedgehog in his blurry vicinity right next to Tom. It was usually Knuckles who he saw whenever he was disoriented. Wait, the room was... They were in the attic? Not the facility? He panted, struggling to make any sense of this. He can't seem to speak right now either. It's like his voice has died on him. Sonic could only watch Tom take charge. Maddie was with Tails, and the echidna was beside the fox. Everyone was concerned and worried. At least he wasn't creating that dangerous energy again, but it's still heartbreaking. All they heard was his labored breathing. He shook in Tom's grasp, the man waiting for the ebony hedgehog to tell him what he meant. It took a couple of tries, but he finally managed to get something out.
The pills.
He breathed out. He sounded shaky, each inhale burning his throat.
I can taste them.
Pills? Tom rubbed his thumbs calmly on his cheeks, not at all caring about the drool that coated his hand. Shadow looked a mess.
Shadow, you haven't had any pills.
Tom stated, confusing the black sapient in his desperate and disoriented daze.
No, I can feel them. Tom, they're still there.
He coughed out. His hand shakily went to his stomach to hold it, the pain irritating from the hits he just did.
I need to get them out.
You haven't, Shadow. I wouldn't lie to you about that.
Tom kept his hands firmly on his face. He could see the lost in his eyes. Sonic looked horrified, but he also had a righteous anger on his face, as did Knuckles. Those darn maniacs at Toon did this. The mental trauma they've inflicted is beyond comprehension. Tails looked completely taken aback. What was he witnessing, or hearing? Maddie was so tempted to go over, but that might make Shadow worse. She did help him before, but Tom took charge this time. He immediately scooped him up into his arms when they hurt him, regardless of danger or not. That cry was so awful.
It's okay, you're okay.
Tom paused. How can he say he's okay? Shadow isn't okay, he's far from okay. And trying to say otherwise won't do any good, even if it is to try comfort him. Tom bit his lip and pressed his head against the sapient, trying to let him come to, let him take in the sense around him more. As long as he keeps him from hitting his stomach to bring up something that wasn't even inside at this current time. He muttered.
We are here.
Shadow shook miserably, still trying to adjust to the surroundings again. Everything felt delayed. His brain was trying to understand. Why does it feel like he has those awful drugs lying in his stomach if he didn't have any? Shame began to build up once again at being seen like this. The fog cleared a little. He didn't want a damn audience. He shakily pulled at Tom's firm hands and managed to get them off his face.
Shadow.
I'm fine.
He snapped out and quickly got up, as dizzy as he felt, and stumbled away from everyone and got himself down the stairs, ignoring Maddie calling out his name. The room was spinning in some sections. His stomach ached at him, but he really couldn't care. He doesn't want to see any of them right now. It's already becoming too much. He was being overwhelmed with their eyes. He clung onto the wall for support and haphazardly grabbed at the bathroom door, and he did get it open. He quickly went inside and slammed the door closed. He panted loudly. His heart was still loud in his ears, and he went to the sink and saw himself in the mirror. He cringed, damp fur, eyes like pinpricks, bloodshot. In all honesty, he looked wild. He didn't see the blood on his mouth either. That feeling of vomiting wasn't present on his mouth. Felt like it was there though. He was covered in drool at some sections. Chaos. He looked a mess. Like someone dragged him through a field with how messy he seemed. He's so tired of this, tired of everything. Tired of himself. Everything is lessening with the spinning at least. He just needed the space away. He let out a shaky breath and sighed out at the quietness. He slid down against the front of the bathtub, his back quills and back against it. The cold felt good on his body heat and curled into himself as he took deep breaths to calm his ever-painful heart. This was getting worse and worse. He's remembering stuff vividly and he doesn't care for it in any shape or form. He didn't care for the mess it left him with, his mind. His hand gripped tightly onto his fur at the top of his head, where his ear was. Shadow swallowed with great difficulty. His eyes were definitely burning and his throat. Shame and anger is something he was used to feeling over himself, and that hasn't changed with this predicament. The ultimate life form. Reduced to this, reduced to shaking over memories of his past. Knuckles says he still suffers them. How often? He wants it to stop. His stomach still felt like it had those drugs inside. The ache was ever present, reminding him. The bathroom door opened after a couple of minutes and his ears tilted back with irritation.
Shadow.
Tom was there. He closed the door over gently.
Leave me alone, Tom.
Shadow, his voice was hoarse. He was staring at his own legs. Silence came over them. But a hand was caught in his vision at the side of him, and it was Sonic who sat his back against the bathtub the same way Shadow was, but he didn't say a word. The blue sapient said nothing, which was a surprise in itself.
Shadow, we just want to help you.
The human stayed where he was. Shadow couldn't see his or Sonic's expression.
I told you.
But we want to, Shadow.
Tom said to the distraught hedgehog. He can't pretend what just happened didn't.
How hard is it for you all to understand when I say I'm fine? I've always had to be.
Shadow sneered in frustration. Silence came over the bathroom again as he glared at his own legs. They just can't seem to get it when he tells them.
Why can't you just leave me alone?
He whispered to himself mostly. Then he heard Tom get closer. He growled almost with aggression in his tone, as he felt the human kneel next to the side Sonic wasn't at. The blue hedgehog still didn't say anything for whatever reason. Shadow was about to get up, but he felt Tom put his arm around him from behind and at the front, and he stiffened in place. Tom planted his head against the side of his forehead again, like he did before. He could smell his lingering cologne again. This man doesn't give up easily, does he? For a human, he sure was strong-willed. Is it because he's a father? Or simply because he's Tom Wachowski?
I know.
Tom whispered.
I know, bud. I know you don't like us seeing you like this. But Shadow, please, what happened?
The ebony hedgehog was tense, and he went silent. He didn't give either Sonic or Tom much. Sonic kept his eyes forward so he didn't overwhelm Shadow with the feeling of lingering eyes. He wouldn't like it himself. Why is it always like this? He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to acknowledge the pain when he has to in his dreams. He wants to push this man away, the things put into his head. To accept whatever because he is the weapon, the thing to be used. He shouldn't feel. They don't get anything, they don't have opinions or be allowed to be. Anything but one. What good does come of talking about it? His screams and begging were always silent to people. But that's not the case anymore. There are people now that can hear them. But he was still closed off.
Shadow.
He heard Tom say softly, almost desperate to understand this newest one.
Please, I just want to help you.
You can't.
Shadow was hoarse-strained, his throat burning him.
You can't undo what they did to me.
Tom pressed his head down against the sapience, feeling the sorrow and pain inside of himself, and it's getting harder to contain it.
You're right, I can't. But I'm here to listen and support you. We all are, Shadow.
You are home.
Sonic murmured out finally.
This is what a family does, Shadow.
Shadow was quiet. It still did not seem like he was going to tell them anything, because he's fighting within himself. That what this is weakness. The only people who could ever have helped him were dead, and he's had a long time to manage it by himself. All those sorrows, all this pain, he was burdened with being alone. Sonic has seen his father repeat about always wanting to support Shadow, and he would say it to his face. Even if it took over 100 times, their father and mother will keep saying, keep pushing, to show the support that this black sapient needs. His dad was such a great man in that way, just like he had a great mom. They did the same with him, Knuckles and Tails. Shadow wouldn't be any different. No one could convince Sonic otherwise that he didn't have the greatest family out there. Because he absolutely did, broken record sure, but that's how he feels. It was getting Shadow to realize that in himself too, even if it takes a year. They'll wait. Shadow moved underneath Tom, and at first they both thought he was going to leave again, but he actually turned to the man and returned his embrace, as tense as he was, so Tom held him all the more tighter as Shadow clung to him. He pressed his head into Tom's chest and tried listening to that heartbeat of his, to bring him some sense of reality or comfort that he always rejected or rather been taught in his life by June. That rare vulnerability he's displaying. He shakily held onto Tom's shirt, his fingers digging in tightly into the fabric.
Shadow.
Tom muttered as he held him.
What happened, son? I want to understand.
Shadow breathed in his scent, trying to use it as a way to stop his ever-threatening tears, but hearing the way Sonic and Tom were right now was destroying his resolve. They were taking his strength to fight them. He's let them in and he knows that. He still doesn't see any good that would come out from telling them. Yet, maybe it would? The conflicting feelings inside him. He wants to push against it, but if he tells them, would they finally understand it's not something they should want to know? What he's gone through, no one should want to know. No one should want that horror.
I begged them to stop.
Shadow whispered. unable to hold it back because this man seemed to have the power to do this to him. His resolve was breaking piece by piece.
They drilled into my skull, and I couldn't fight back. They wouldn't stop.
His tears fell finally, the strength to keep them in no longer able to. His tears fell onto Tom's shirt, and the man kept his strong, comforting arms around him. Sonic clenched his fist tightly as Shadow said his heart break, saying what his nightmare was about for the first time since he lived with them. That scream, the confirmation that they did that stuff to him awake, just killed his heart inside. He always thought that some of his nightmares were just, what if they caught him again? But unfortunately that wasn't the case. They were memories, and that was more and more apparent each time the severe ones happened. Sonic saw the storm on his father's face. The ebony hedgehog felt so strange to tell them about this. To people who were actually listening to him and not ignoring his silent screams because they didn't just see him as a thing to be used like his original purpose. These people saw him as a person, and not a thing. It felt like a door was opening to let the light in. Tom's lip grimly pressed into a fine line as he listened to those heartbreaking memories of his nightmares and held this hedgehog tightly. That's all he can do is listen and show the support he needs in this moment. And there he sat there with Sonic as Shadow was unable to say much else and was fighting back his choked sobs but was failing at it. He got louder in between parts, his heart finally letting him scream out the pain to others. He rubbed his back gently as he felt him cling onto his shirt, wrinkling the fabric with how strong his grip was. Shadow's other hand was covering his own face, the side that was pressed into Tom's chest. His fingers pressed in deeply as the tears overflowed, teeth gritted painfully against each other and a sorrowful expression in his shut eyes. His fear of drugs was understandable, anything with medication or injections, it all made sense, from what Tom was able to make out from Shadow's sobs. And a drill? They wouldn't do something so cruel while he would be awake, would they? No, of course they would. Scientific curiosity at its bloody finest. It made the humans so angry, so upset. This kid was never even given a chance because they deemed him as an experiment to be used. Sure, Gerald made him originally with that purpose, but it sounds like he didn't do half the stuff that Gun did. He had some morals in that sense, maybe. But he can't know that because the man is dead. And Shadow could only say so much before putting up his walls again. It's heartbreaking. What he's having to hear was heartbreaking. He and Sonic sat there for several minutes as Shadow quieted down, but he stayed within the embrace of Tom. It was a big step for him to say what he was going through, though he can't say that to him because he would retreat into his bubble again. The sheriff kept rubbing his back as gently as he could. They were all exhausted, but nothing else mattered in this moment. Sonic pressed his head against his dad's arm as he listened to Shadow's breathing. It was calming down and so was his shaking to a degree, but he could still feel that grief. He could only imagine how his dad feels right now. Knuckles was right, this was only going to get worse before it got better. Not acknowledging it wouldn't make this go away.
Let's go back to bed, Shadow.
I'm here, Shadow,
he said tiredly.
I'm not going anywhere.
Shadow may not want this, but he isn't going to just go straight to his own bed and let him lay there with his own thoughts. Shadow's ears were probably red with embarrassment. He doesn't need this, but he is far too tired to fight him on it. Quite frankly, Tom wasn't giving him an option by the sounds of it, so he curled back onto his side, his back facing the sheriff. Tom and Maddie shared a look, their eyes coming to an understanding. They aren't waiting any longer. They'll tell Randall in the morning. There is no chance in hell Tom is allowing it now. Any potential chance of having a GUN agent was thrown out the window. Not after that. And unbeknownst to the two humans, Tails and Knuckles also shot each other a look in agreement. Webby will be sent. After lunch at the latest, maybe. Tails will get his chart ready of the timetables and have the echidna get the machine inside. Done with waiting, done with being nice. Maddie pulled the cover over herself and the fox and the echidna went over to his own bed. Sonic flopped onto his bed with a groan and buried his head deep into his pillow. He's so tired, but will he get any sleep? After hearing that, he really much doubts it. No one's gonna get any sleep. He would be real surprised if they did. And the plans might be out of the window now. Those horrible people have tried to destroy him, and maybe in parts they did, but he was stronger in will than they ever could have thought. But if they already had Shadow, what were they going to do to him and Tails? That Walters guy. Sonic very much would like to punch all those stupid agents. They have made enemies out of the Wachowskis and it's not going away. They must pay for what they've done. But how? Did Walters know about this? Sonic might need a word with a human somehow. Kidnap sounds like a... No, that would just alert them, wouldn't it? Well, first things first. See Aunt Rachel and explain the situation to both her and Randall. His ears listened to everyone in the room as it became quiet again. Not a word was spoken between anyone, just breathing. Maybe they all were attempting to get some sleep after all. And so Sonic tried as well. The light shined into the attic a few hours later, and he was right. He didn't get any sleep.